playlist today is focused on surrender. So we're trying to be just here in the moment and learn what we can from this space, whatever's happening. If it's good, if it's bad, or if it's joyful or painful, whatever that is, just being with that emotion, that feeling, and what can we learn from it right now. And knowing that if we do our best to surrender to those moments, that we can move through them more quickly, especially the painful ones, and enjoy the good ones more, savor them. So we're going to start on our back today with our feet hip distance apart and our knees up to the ceiling, and just placing our hands on our belly, or maybe one hand on our belly and one hand on our heart. But today I'm focused on belly breathing, so maybe we want both hands there. Inhaling as we fill the deepest part of our lungs with air, and exhaling. Taking some breaths to think about, where am I at right now? And can I just relax into this moment, whatever it might be? Listening to our breath, noticing how we're feeling. Letting go of our expectations, letting go of competition and judgment. And just being in the present moment. And maybe if we need to take some big exhales through the mouth, if we need to release anything, it's a good time to do that. And if we can find our Ujjayi breath, letting that air roll around through the back of the throat. And then extending our arms out wide, making a T. And we're going to open up our knees, finding a supine butterfly, and starting with a butterfly flow this morning. Inhaling, so we bring our hands and knees toward each other. Exhaling as we lower back down. Maybe closing our eyes. And imagining we have some form of wings. Maybe we're a bird. Maybe we're a butterfly. Maybe we're a flying squirrel or a bat. Whatever embodies some flight as we get ready to take off into the world. Taking one more flow up and down. And then letting our arms stay wide, bringing our right knee up and over to the left, and taking a real gentle windshield wiper then with both knees side to side. Just feeling our back start to twist a little bit. And maybe if it feels good, turning our chin the opposite direction, adding a little more into that twist. Letting our shoulders remain grounded on the floor. And coming back up to the sky with our knees. Drawing our knees into our chest and giving ourselves a big hug. We've made it to the last bit of school for this year. Maybe rocking our body side to side or making circles with our knees in either direction or alternating. Anything that feels good on our back today. And then when we're ready, making our way onto our side. Coming up onto our hands and knees. And moving through some cow and cat breaths. Inhaling as we arch the back. Looking up, and then exhaling as we tuck the pelvis around the spine. Noticing our spinal mobility and finding some play today. Maybe it feels good to move in circles throughout the side body as well as through the spine. Or maybe it feels good to move the hips. Playing around with our spine a little bit. Maybe we're more like a snake or a dolphin or a shark. Swimming side to side. Finding any sort of movement in our spine that feels good today. And then pressing back into our child's pose. And as we're here, coming into a sankalpa, whatever that might be. For me right now, I am surrendering to what is. Taking a moment to take a few breaths here. Any variation of child's pose that feels good. And then reaching our arms out overhead, we're going to reach over to our left and just feel a little bit of lateral flexion through our right side of our body. Stretching through our right arm, feeling that tension through the whole side of the right part of our body. And then walking our hands back to center and then over to the right and feeling that stretch through our left side body. Taking some deep breaths into that space. And then walking our hands back in front of us and moving into a half series. Inhaling as we come up into kneeling plank. So our hips are low. Exhaling as we lower down. Inhaling as we press up into up dog or cobra. And exhaling back to child's pose. And noticing how this feels. If we come up, maybe we want to come to the floor and just have a baby cobra. Or maybe we want a bigger expression of cobra. Finding whatever variation feels good today. Moving with our breath. And when we're ready, returning back to our child's pose. And then gently letting our forehead rock side to side. Running through our temple. Coming back to center. And then preparing to move into a down dog, tucking our toes under our feet, lifting our hips and pedaling out our feet. Maybe wagging our tail a little. And then extending our legs long and pressing our ears between our elbows, really finding extension through our back. Maybe coming forward a little bit and taking a few breaths here. Lengthening through the spine. Lifting our hips as high as we can. And then when we're ready, walking our feet into our hands, softening our knees, and finding a gentle ragdoll. Maybe we want our arms to sway, or maybe we want to tuck our elbows as we sway. Letting our neck maybe turn, shake our head no, shake our head yes. Anything that feels good. And coming back to center, soften our knees. Inhale as we circle sweep our arms, coming up into mountain. Exhaling as we release our hands by our hips. And take a moment, roll our shoulders around. Tilt my camera back just a little bit more. Rolling our shoulders. And then switching directions, or maybe taking one shoulder at a time. Releasing any tension in our upper back. And then turning along the long edge of our mat, turning our toes out to the corners. So we're going to move through some moonflower and sunflower. Feel free to play with these in any way that feels good. So as we inhale up, we're going to find 5-pointed stars. As we exhale down, coming into our first moonflower, we're going to reach overhead with the left arm. Inhaling back up and then exhaling down. So we're getting a little bit of lateral flexion. If this doesn't feel good on our body, we could always just come straight down into a normal moonflower. So picking whichever variation feels good today. Exhaling as we move down, inhaling as we move up. Maybe we peek down and make sure our knees are right over our feet. And if we feel like changing this and hinging forward, finding our sunflower, maybe we draw a big sunflower with our fingers, pinky to pinky, thumb to thumb. Or we could keep that same lateral flexion as we come down, reaching through the side. Just opening up the sides of our body, moving through any variation. Moonflower, sunflower that feels good. Opening up our hearts, opening up our side body. Taking one more flow through moon or sunflower. Exhaling as we come back into the top of our mat, setting up for a chair. Taking a chair flow, inhaling up and exhaling as we come down. Maybe we want our arms out, or maybe we want to come to heart center. Or maybe we're surrendering out. What is feeling true and good to us today? Taking one more flow up and down. And coming back into mountain. Making any little micro moves that we need to make. We're setting up for our first sun salutation. If we want to modify, we could come to a knee. If we feel like standing, we could do a standing variation. So we're going to run through 2 rounds of sun salutation. Exhaling as we hinge forward. Stepping back either onto the knee or the foot. Inhaling into a kneeling or standing lunge. Exhaling back, bringing our knee back and coming either into child's pose or down dog. Inhaling as we come up into either kneeling or full plank. Exhaling as we hover down and inhaling as we press into up dog or cobra. Exhaling back. Bringing our left foot forward. Finding our kneeling or standing lunge. Exhaling down, stepping in with the left foot. Inhaling as we come halfway up. Exhaling, release, soften our knees, circle, sweep up. Exhaling into chair. Inhaling up, this time stepping back with the left foot first. Either coming onto our knee or finding our lunge. Exhaling down, stepping back. Finding our down dog or child's pose. Inhaling as we find our plank. Exhaling as we hover down and inhaling as we press into up dog or cobra, lifting our knees up for an up dog. Exhaling back, down dog or child's pose. Inhaling as we step in with the opposite foot. Inhaling, finding our lunge. Exhaling down, stepping in with the left. Coming halfway up. Exhale, release, soften our knees, circle, sweep back up into mountain. Exhaling through one final chair. Inhaling as we come back into mountain. Exhaling as we release. Roll our shoulders back. And forward. And then stepping back with our left foot, opening up, setting up for warrior one. Inhaling up, finding our warrior one arms. And we're going to take a strong warrior. Inhaling as we bring our elbows down, making muscles. Inhale back up, exhale as we pull down. Imagining we're flexing. I am a strong warrior. I'm capable, confident, and fearless. Inhaling up. We are ready to meet the future. Taking one more breath up and down. The next time we come up, fanning our arms out, turning our left foot, finding our warrior two. And turning our thumbs up, taking a flow, inhaling as we reach to our palms, imagining we're grabbing a bow and arrow, pulling back, and then exhale, let go. And we're thinking of whatever things we need to let go of in our life. What can we surrender that no longer serves us? Big exhale through the mouth. Taking one more flow here. And then returning to our warrior two arms, long straight arms. Inhaling as we hinge forward, finding side angle. Letting our elbow rest on our thigh if we like, or open up in the inner thigh. And then with our left hand making a big circle with our arms. Opening through the shoulder. And then switching direction. Finding a full expression of extended side angle. That long line between our fingers slicing diagonally all the way down to the blade of our left foot. Inhaling as we come all the way back, finding our peaceful warrior. Closing our eyes maybe. Surrendering to this moment, and we find our peaceful warrior. Inhaling as we come back up, straightening our right knee. Inhaling as we hinge forward, exhaling as we drop down, finding our triangle. And if it feels good today, taking a revolved triangle, bringing our left hand down, and then opening up our right. Or maybe bringing the hand to the hip and finding the twist there. Just listening to our shoulder, what feels better on our body. Revolved triangle. Inhaling as we come back down. And then reaching up, lifting our left heel, finding a crescent lunge. Exhaling as we come down, interlacing our fingers behind us and finding some chest expansion in our lunge. So either here, or we could come all the way down, bowing forward, lifting our hands over our heart, or toward our heart. Taking one breath here, releasing to the floor with our hands, stepping back with the right foot, finding down dog, and if we choose, taking a vinyasa flow, or maybe finding child's pose, or any variation that feels good in the body. Returning back up to our down dog. And then stepping in with our left foot. Inhaling as we sweep up, open up the right heel, set it down, and sink into our warrior one. Bringing our hands to heart center. And finding our flow with our arms here up and down. Bringing in the peace, the calm, the serenity as we prepare to step into the future. Taking one more flow up and down. And then on our next inhale, fanning out our hands, turning our right foot, finding our warrior two, with our thumbs to the sky, grabbing our imaginary bow and arrow. Inhaling, and then as we exhale, releasing our future fears. Letting go of those things, come what may. We give in to the now and we surrender to the moment. Letting go of the what ifs. Taking one more big flow here. Returning our palms down, finding our warrior two. And when we're ready, inhaling, finding our side angle, resting our left elbow on our thigh or opening wide. And then sweeping the arm down, finding the big open shoulder circles. Maybe following our fingertips with our eyes. And then switching directions. Coming all the way up, finding our extended side angle, a nice long line. Inhaling as we cartwheel our arms back, finding our reverse warrior, our peaceful warrior. Breathing into this warrior, giving us strength. And as we inhale, unwinding the arms, straightening the left knee, hinging forward and exhaling as we come down, finding our triangle on this side. And having all those options, staying here, or maybe choosing to revolve that triangle today. Opening up the arm or placing a hand on the hip as we twist. Sometimes when we change our perspective, we get a new viewpoint. We get growth. Always good to revolve things every once in a while and mix it up. Inhaling as we come back down. Bending our knee. And then lifting our right heel, coming up into our lunge. Exhaling as we bring our hands behind us and opening up for some chest expansion. Either staying here in our lunge, chest expansion, or hinging forward toward a humble lunge. Taking one more breath here, releasing our hands inside of our left foot and stepping back, finding down dog and taking any variation of a vinyasa flow. Returning to down dog. Walk, hop, or jump our feet into our hands. Soften our knees, circle, sweep our arms up into mountain. Exhaling down. Rolling the shoulders back. Rolling the shoulders forward. Feeling good in the neighborhood. Stepping back with our left foot. We're going to turn our toes in the same direction, preparing for pyramid. Inhaling up, turning our thumb down. Exhaling as we interlace our fingers or grab our elbows. So we're finding that open chest, pressing our shoulders down away from our ears. And then arching through the back, pulling the belly button in tight as we breathe in. Exhaling as we hinge at the hips, slowly bringing our head toward our knees, toward our right knee. Finding pyramid. And we could always place our hands on the floor if we want some extra support. As we exhale, seeing if we can release a little deeper, bringing our nose a little closer to that right knee. Inhaling as we slowly unwind. Exhaling as we step back into mountain, close our eyes, and let our right and left side bodies readjust. Taking a big breath in. Exhaling down. This time stepping back with the right foot. Toes and knees pointed in the same direction, preparing for our pyramid on this leg. Turning our thumb down, interlacing our arms behind us or palm to palm. Drawing in with the belly button as we arch up, inhaling. And then exhaling as we hinge forward toward our left knee. Closing our eyes, releasing any tension, breathing into the spaces that are tight, and seeing if we can grow a little bit there. Stretch a little bit more in a new direction. Inhaling as we unhinge, coming back to upright, back into mountain. Exhaling as we release the feet back, hip distance apart. Close our eyes, turn our palms forward. Let our body readjust. Taking a big inhale up. And exhale as we forward fold, stepping back with our right foot. We're coming into a lunge. We're going to open up our left foot a little bit and place our right hand on the floor solidly. And then with our left hand, inhale as we sweep up, finding a twisted lunge. Or we can bring our hand to our hip or overhead, whichever is feeling better. And we can always drop the back knee down too if we need a little extra hip support. Taking one more breath here as we inhale, bringing our hand back down, dropping that knee. We're going to take our left hand outside of the left foot. Inhale as we come back, lift our left toes. Exhale as we come forward. Flowing back and forth here, feeling this hamstring stretch through the back of the left leg. Coming once more here. And returning our arm back to the inside of this foot. And maybe we're staying right here, or maybe we're working our way down toward our elbow for lizard pose. We're finding a big hip opener today and just listening to our body. We don't want to push it. We want to honor it. So feeling the stretch, but not any pain. Taking one more breath here, sliding our hips back. And we're going to bring this left foot over behind the right and work our way down toward pigeon, sliding the right leg back. And either supporting ourselves with our hands on our floor. The foot is wherever it needs to be, that our knee feels good and our hip feels open. And if we feel okay, dropping down to our elbow. Maybe setting our forehead on the floor. Finding a deep hip opener here. Inhaling as we work our way back up. Sliding that leg behind us and coming back, finding child's pose. Taking a moment here to reconnect to our Sankalpa. Inhaling as we bring our right foot forward, tuck our left toe under, inhaling up, and finding our our lunge with our left hand on the floor. Inhaling as we revolve our right arm back, finding that twist, opening up through the shoulder. Maybe one more breath here. Coming back, bringing our right hand inside of the left foot, dropping the knee down, and bringing our hand outside of the hip. Inhaling as we come back, lifting the right toe. Exhaling as we come forward, flowing front to back. Feeling that stretch in our hamstring, opening up our hips a little bit, breathing into that. Setting our foot down, our knee over foot, and bringing our right arm back in. Sliding our left leg back if that feels good, and finding lizard, either on our hands, maybe on our elbows. Just finding a place that feels good today. Today my hands feel better. Some days I'm on my elbows, but today I feel tight in the hips, so I'm honoring that. Finding some deep breathing here. And then walking our hips back, we're going to bring that right foot, walk it back behind the left hand, wherever it can go, and move ourselves toward pigeon. Lowering our hips to the floor. Maybe we're supporting our pigeon with our hands, or with fists, or maybe with elbows. If we feel like we want to set our forehead down, giving ourselves that place and permission to do that. And maybe we want to rock a little bit in our pigeon. Finding that area of tension in the hips and breathing into it. Gently pressing back, coming onto our hip, and we're working our way, walking ourselves up into a seated position, bringing our feet sole to sole, finding our butterfly. And then letting our hips flap a little bit. We just did a lot of hip opening. Lifting through the spine, crown of the head as high as we can go. And then as we exhale, just hinging forward, finding where we can go naturally. We're not pulling on our feet, we're just finding that hinge. And when we can hinge no more, releasing the upper body. Inhaling as we slowly begin to unwind back to upright. Sending our right foot and bringing our left foot to our inner thigh. So we're at this 45-degree angle from our hips. Inhaling as you reach the left hand up and slide it toward our right foot, keeping our shoulders square forward. And maybe with each exhale, we want to release a little bit more, see if we can get a little more stretch there. We're flexing our right foot, trying to reach our toes to our fingers. Inhaling as we come back to upright, sitting tall, and then rotating over that right leg. Inhale, bring our hands overhead. Exhale as we reach toward our right foot, bringing our nose toward our knee, wherever it can go. Maybe our hands are on our thighs or on our shins, or maybe we're reaching to our feet. Inhaling as we slowly walk ourselves back to upright. Extend the left foot and bring the right foot in. Sitting tall, lengthening through our spine. Inhaling as we reach our right hand overhead, reaching toward our flexed left foot. Finding that lateral flexion all through the left side body, right side body. Inhaling as we come back to upright. Sitting tall, rotating over our left knee, inhaling out. Exhaling as we hinge forward, bringing our nose toward our knee. Finding some release, breathing into that space. Inhaling as we walk our hands back up and bringing both feet out in front of us, flexing through the feet, moving towards staff pose. So maybe today we're just pushing down with our hands and finding a nice straight staff, keeping our spine nice and tall, or maybe we're adding a forward fold into our staff, finding whichever variation feels better. Maybe we want a chest opener today. Keeping that spine straight if we're forward or if we're arching back. So straight spine, open heart. Either we're opening through the back of our heart or we're opening through the front of our heart. Which side of our heart do we want to expose? Taking one breath here. Exhaling as we release. Drawing our feet in towards us, grabbing the backs of our thighs, and maybe removing the fleshy area from underneath our sits bones, preparing for boat. Extending our arms long, pulling in with our belly button, and we're ready. Lifting one foot and the other up. Finding that long, straight spine, belly in tight. And either staying here, releasing our palms. We could always tap a toe down. We could always extend our legs long. Whatever variation of boat feels good is a little bit of work today. Feeling our abdominal muscles engage. Breathing into that boat. And then exhale, bringing our feet down. Inhale up to the sky and exhale, rounding our back, grabbing our shins and just rounding. Almost like a seated cat. Walking our hands back behind us, and we're working our way onto our back. Taking our right ankle across the left thigh and letting our left ankle over the right thigh, letting our left knee fall away. So not bringing it in, but just letting it be open. Our hips square to the floor, finding that space. Making a T with our arms and just gently rocking our hips side to side. Not all the way to the floor, but just feeling that the hips as we roll a little bit side to side. And then coming back to center, inhaling as we reach through the right leg, lacing our fingers behind the right thigh and finding a supine pigeon. And we could let our left leg, that knee stay open, our right leg come down, or we could extend it up, whichever one is feeling better today. Releasing our left foot and extending it long on the floor, bringing our right knee into our shoulder, opening up our hip, keeping the hips down, just finding that space where the knee can come in. Drawing our left foot in, and then crossing our right ankle over the left thigh, letting our right knee fall open and making a T with our arms, and gently that little rocking side to side here. Releasing our hips, releasing our low back. Coming back to center when we're ready, inhaling through the left leg, lacing our fingers behind the left thigh and finding our supine pigeon. Maybe it feels good to extend the left leg, or maybe it feels good to have it down. Just finding the space where you feel that hip opener. And then releasing our right foot long on the floor, bringing our left knee in, hip down toward our left shoulder. Releasing our right hand and bringing our right knee in, grabbing behind both thighs and gently just rocking side to side, flexing through our feet and slowly working our way up into dead bug. Our hips down on the floor, our knees toward our shoulder. And maybe dead bug is where we're going today, or maybe it feels good to find happy baby or a big toe hold. Being true to what feels good in our body today. And then bringing our feet sole to sole, letting the outside edges of our feet connect with the floor and our feet sole to sole. Opening our hands wide, inhaling as we find our butterfly flow again. Taking one more flow up and down, leaving our knees up and letting the bottoms of our feet connect with the floor. Letting our arms extend with our palms up and then gently dropping our knees down to one side, getting that spinal twist and looking back in the opposite direction. If this variation of a twist doesn't feel good, you have lots of other options. You could extend the legs. So finding whatever variation of twist feels good today. Inhaling as we make our way back up. Reset our feet. And then slowly lower down on the opposite side, finding our twist on that arm. Inhaling as we come back to center. And we have some choices. We can go to legs up the wall. We could put legs on furniture. We find our legs up the wall, like here. Or we can work our way up for a shoulder stand or plow. Or if we have a block, we could put a block underneath our hips. So drawing our knees in and extending our feet up into legs up the wall here. Or working our way up into, I have no hips there. Working our way up into shoulder stand. And maybe giving our knees in, or maybe extending our feet up. Any variation of shoulder stand, or maybe working toward plow. Whatever inversion feels best today. And when we're ready, bringing our knees back to our chest, maybe giving ourselves one more big hug through the shins. I love myself. And then setting up for whatever variation of final relaxation feels good today. Maybe we're finding Shavasana. Maybe a supine butterfly, a supported bridge, easy seated. Finding our surrender, melting into the earth and letting go. I now live in limitless love, light, and joy. All is well in my world. Gently wiggling our fingers and our toes. Bringing awareness back into the body. As we breathe in, breathing in the title of our card today, My Future is Glorious. When we're ready, making our way onto one side, and then working our way up into an easy seated, comfortable position, sitting tall. Inhaling as we reach our fingertips out overhead, bringing our palms to our forehead. May we think good thoughts. May we speak kind words. Coming to our heart, may we feel love. May we be love. May we give love.